ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुक्तपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगण रघुनाथामृतं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्ते गोपेश गोपिकांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय पांचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधु वचपतितानां भावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। So welcome to corporate Bhagavad Gita. We are reading Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter. We completed till 30th verse or till 31st verse, and we'll continue with 32. So in this particular chapter, Krishna is talking about Ashtanga Yoga, which is the eightfold mystic yoga system of doing pranayams and yogasanas. A karma yogi will do this Ashtanga Yoga in the morning time for 1 or 2 hours. Okay. And then later on, throughout the day, he will do his karma. Once he develops the vision of samatvam, seeing everyone equally, he may probably retire. So that's what we were discussing everywhere. That when he gets to the platform of samatvam, then he sees everywhere Krishna, he sees all living beings equally, he sees the Supreme Lord everywhere. Basically, he realizes a super soul. Slowly. Okay. And we will get to verse number 32. आत्मोपयमेन सर्वत्र समान पश्यति यो अर्जुन सुखम या वदीत वा दुखम स योगी परमो मतः. He is perfect yogi by who comparison to his own self sees the true quality of all beings in both happiness and distress. So when he sees true quality means what he sees, he doesn't see the exterior. He sees everybody is soul. That's what he sees. One who is in Krishna consciousness is perfect yogi. He is aware of everyone's happiness and distress by the dint of his own personal experience. The cause of distress of a living entity is forgetfulness of his relationship with God. And the cause of happiness is knowing Krishna to be the supreme enjoyer of all activities of the human being, the proprietor of all lands, the planets, and the sincerest friend of all living entities. The perfect yogi knows that the living being who is conditioned by the modes of material nature is subjected to three modes of material nature due to forgetfulness of his relationship with Krishna. And because one in Krishna consciousness is happy, he tries to distribute the knowledge of Krishna everywhere. Since the perfect yogi tries to broadcast the importance of becoming Krishna conscious, he is the best philanthropist in the world and his dearest servitor of Lord. Yatha tasman manushechu kaschinna me priya kriyatama. In other words, the devotee of the Lord always looks to the welfare of the living entity, and this way he is factually the friend of everyone. He is the best yogi because he does not desire perfection in yoga for personal benefit, but tries for others. He does not envy his fellow living beings. He is a contrast between pure devotee and the Lord, and the yogi interested only in personal elevation. The yogi who has withdrawn to a secluded place in order to meditate perfectly may not be as perfect as the devotee who is trying his best to turn every man towards Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada in this purport gives comparison between Ashtanga Yogi and Karma Yogi. So in this purport, Prabhupada is giving a comparison of Ashtanga Yogi and a Bhakti Yogi. Okay. So Ashtanga Yogi, he's slowly, gradually seeing the super soul everywhere. Okay. And he's seeing um, He's seeing the living entity as a soul in all the bodies. So he's gradually coming to the equality platform. And once he comes to equality platform, he advances more. Hmm? And a bhakti yogi, right? He is already on this platform. He sees everybody equally because he sees them as part and parcel of Krishna. And then he helps other living beings to come to Krishna. So he does preaching, he distributes the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, which the Ashtanga yogi doesn't do. Okay, that is the difference. Ashtanga yogi is too much into his own liberation. I want to become pure, I want to get liberated. But a bhakti yogi, he perfects his life and then he goes and helps others and gives them spiritual knowledge. So that is difference between Ashtanga yogi and bhakti yogi. Next verse. Arjuna vacha yo yam yogastva paproktah samyena madhusudana ityaham na pashyami chanchalatvat sthitam sthiram. Arjuna said, "O Madhusudan, the system of yoga which you have summarized appears impractical and unendurable to me, for the mind is restless and unsteady." So, after hearing this whole yoga, Ashtanga yoga, Arjuna is saying it is very impractical, unendurable. Arjuna is very powerful personality, and he himself thinks that this Ashtanga yoga is difficult to perform. It is difficult. So, from verse number 11 to verse number 32 is what he thinks is very difficult. So we'll just go through and see what Arjuna is trying to reject here. Okay, so first of all, text 11 says that to practice this Ashtanga yoga one should go to secluded place and lay kusha grass, you know, sit very firmly, practice yoga by controlling mind senses. One should hold his body, neck, head erect and stare steadily at the tip of the nose. Free from sex life, one should meditate upon me, super soul within the heart, and make me the ultimate goal of life. Okay, should not eat too much, sleep too much. Okay, this is a general instruction. It applies to all the yogis in all bhakti yogi also. Okay, regulated in habits of eating, sleeping. We took one example of Dhruva Maharaj, who at the age of 5 years did this Ashtanga yoga and got perfection in 6 months only. Generally, that is a very rare case. Generally, the perfection happens with thousands of years, not even hundreds of years or tens of years, but thousands of years. Then one has to control the mind. Hmm? Very important. Then he sees his qualitative identity with the supreme and is freed from all reactions. He sees all being super soul in everyone, and everyone in the uh, super soul. Okay, he sees everyone equally. Okay, all these things Arjuna is rejecting. He's saying it is impractical and unbearable. The system of mysticism practiced by described by Lord Krishna to Arjuna, beginning with words Sucha Deshe, that is 11th verse, ending with Yogi Paramaha, that is 32 verse, is here been rejected by Arjuna out of feeling of inability. It is not possible for an ordinary man to leave home and go to a secluded place in a mountains or jungles to practice the yoga in the age of Kali. Anyone in this call, is it possible for you to practice this yoga?
No, Prabhuji.
So
No
yeah.
problem.
Prabhuji, I'm not able to see the screen also, Prabhuji.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, same here for me.
Oh,
I
okay.
just thought of like I am not able to see. I
Okay, I didn't share the screen. I started the recording. Okay, now can you see?
It's now it is visible, Prabhuji.
Okay. I started the
I am
record.
still not able to see.
Actually, you should be able to see now because I've shared the screen. It's there
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Now it is visible.
now. Okay, so uh, let me just do a short recap. So what is Arjuna is saying, that this whole yoga system is impractical and unendurable. Okay, mind is restless and unsteady. So basically, it is the this yoga has been rejected by Arjuna. Hmm? It is not possible to go into secluded place, a jungle, and practice this yoga system. Sitting erect in our day-to-day life is also becoming very difficult. Right? So if we talk about those who do this Ashtanga yoga for days and months, right, that thing is not possible. So what is possible is like, say, 1 hour 2 hour of this Ashtanga yoga, which some people do, few people do actually. You will see on YouTube, they'll say that they are practicing this yoga, they'll do this. But again, the aim of this yoga is to come to bhakti, you know so if we start with bhakti, that then we need not do this yoga. It's like that. And the present age is what? It is characterized by bitter struggle for life of short duration. So many wars are taking place. First, the COVID took place, then the war took place, right? And another war is taking place. So, you know, already life is short, it is unpredictable. Upon that, people commit war and, you know, kill each other, right? So many innocent people are dying. So this is a nature of this Kali Yuga, that there will be so much of hypocrisy and quarrel. And then people are not serious about self-realization. They are not serious about spiritual life also, even by simple practical means. And what to speak of this difficult yoga system? So this Ashtanga yoga is a difficult system which regulates the mode of living, the manner of sitting, which regulates the mode of living, manner of sitting, selection of place, and detachment of the mind from material engagements. As a practical man, Arjuna thought it was impossible to follow this system of yoga, even though he was favorably endowed in many ways. He belonged to the royal family and was highly elevated in terms of numerous qualities. He was a great warrior, great longevity, and above all, he was the most intimate friend of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. 5,000 years ago, Arjuna had many better facilities than we do now. What was the age of Arjuna when he fought the war? It was 90 years old.
He was in his
Yeah. 90.
90,
90.
90 years.
Yeah.
So, he was that strong. What is the retirement age from army today?
60, Prabhuji.
60. But combat retirement is,
No, I think it's 35 to 40, I guess.
35 something. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
35.
so that is the time they can voluntarily retire and all that. But yes, they want people to voluntarily retire at that time, because after that they don't remain combat ready. You need young body to be combat ready, right? So after 35 or 40, they cannot remain combat ready. So then, many of them retire after, like, I think 10-15 years of service. They retire. But anyway, the point is, Arjuna was 90 years old and he was ready to fight this war. Only Bhishma was old, but still he was fighting. So the body, that time people had was tremendous. Bhima had a body which was so strong. When he was a baby, uh, they were in the forest. Kunti were in the forest, right? So once a lion roared and she got afraid, and she was sitting on an edge, and on her lap was Bhima. So Bhima fell from her lap. She became so afraid. And when they went down to see what happened to Bhima, they found that he had fell on a rock, and that rock had crushed into pieces. So he had a strength which was equal to 10,000 elephants. One elephant is so strong. What to speak of 10,000 of them and together in one body? That is Bhima. So they had such kind of bodies, So even though with such thing, Arjuna was rejecting. Arjuna was also very, very powerful, but he was refusing this kind of yoga system. In fact, we do not find any recorded history of this of his practicing in any time. So he also didn't practice. But Krishna practiced a little bit. He practiced, meditation on himself. No? That is what he practiced. The rest of the pranayams and yogasanas, even Krishna didn't practice. Therefore, this system must be considered generally impossible in this age of Kali. See, the system is impossible. Some parts of it is possible. Okay, right? The whole system is impossible, but some part of it is possible. Agree? You got know what I mean? Yes or no?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So
Yes,
some part
Baba.
of it is possible, So sometimes devotees do those parts, but they don't do it in a way Ashtanga Yogi do it. They may use it for some other purpose, like this breathing exercise. It's a very good one to become calm down, control your breathing. Yogasanas, become flexible, strong, healthy. Apart from that, nothing else we can do. We have to chant the holy name on our beat. Okay. So if it if this were so 5,000 years ago, then what to speak of the present day? Those who are imitating this yoga system is in a different so-called schools and society, although complacent, are certainly wasting their time. They are completely in ignorance of the desired goal. See, if the goal is missing now, then it's a waste of time. We need to understand this statement. If the goal is missing, then it's a waste of time. Suppose uh, your friend, you call him and he's saying, I'm driving. And then you ask him, oh, where are you going? And the friend says, I don't know where I'm going. I'm just driving. I'm on this highway and just driving. I don't know where I'm going. Then what will you say? You'll say, why are you wasting? Huh? Why are you wasting your time and petrol? And what is the goal? Right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So that's the thing. That those who practice this yoga system, right? If they are unaware of the goal, then they are wasting the time. And and sometimes, or so let's say many a times, their desired goal is also different. What is the desired goal of doing those pranayams and yogasana? Healthy body and mind, right?
Yeah.
But that is not the goal. The goal to have a healthy body and mind is to further the meditation on the supreme, on the super soul that is within the heart. Will they do that? No. After doing yoga class, they are going and dancing and eating any stuff. So therefore, Prabhupada is saying that is waste of time. Then there are some who will do yoga and pranayam and other things, follow the nam yam and maybe sattvic lifestyle, and they may not go to this dance and all that. They will continue like that. There are some who do like that. But then again, what is their goal? Their goal is to just continue like that. The goal is not to come to a platform of samatvam and or focusing on the super soul within the heart. Sometimes their goal is just to continue with the yoga society, right? This gives you healthy body and mind. Just let's do this, and throughout life they will do that. But will they do anything other than that? No, they'll be only focused on these things. Coming to the platform of meditating on the super soul, seeing the super soul everywhere within oneself, seeing the spirit soul everywhere, all these realizations are required. This is a part of this desired goal. So therefore it is called waste of time. Okay. So it's a waste of time if the ultimate goal is not realized. like that. Now some people may say, okay, I am at least controlling, making my body and mind healthy. Why are you telling you're wasting your time? What would be your explanation?
Prabhuji, please repeat the question once again.
Some person may say, I am doing these yogasans and pranayams and some part of Ashtanga yoga, and this is keeping me healthy. Why are you telling I'm wasting my time?
So I think, Prabhu, for this, ultimately, how much you take care of your body, in the end, the body is going to die, okay, and the soul will survive.
Okay.
So we need to understand the fact that, like, what is the purpose of this body? Why we have given this body? For that purpose, the goal of the body should be, we should understand that goal of the body is to, in the end, to surrender to the Supreme Lord and get His bhakti. So
Okay,
I
good.
think.
Good, good. So what we need to explain is that if they read the Patanjali Sutra, that's the present scripture that they use for Ashtanga Yoga. If they read the later part of the sutras, they say that you have to come to the platform of spirituality. You have to come to the platform of seeing the super soul in everyone and within yourself, like that. So we should make them aware that if you're practicing all this, then understand that there are steps further to this also. Okay. And of course, what explanation you gave, that what is the goal of our life? What is liberation? What is this body? This body has a certain limit, time A to time B. That's it. So this body is like a machine to achieve certain goal. Not to say that I'm just walking, walking, walking. No, it's a machine to take us out of this material world. That's the main purpose of this machine. And we need to keep this machine healthy so that we can keep practicing the spiritual activity. That is the aim. To keep this body healthy is required so that our spiritual activity is not hampered. Okay, so that's why in Ashtanga Yoga, this taking care of body and all that is part of it. In Bhakti Yoga also, we have to take care of the body, and it requires certain food. So it requires certain exercises. It requires pranayam, yogasan. Then we will do it. Okay, but we won't do it just for the sake of doing it. We will do it to keep our body healthy, to further our spiritual activity, to not hamper our spiritual activity. This is what we need to understand.
I think, Prabhu, for this, the Bhakti Yoga is actually looks like an reverse of Ashtanga Yoga. Like, ultimately, Ashtanga Yoga goal should be you reach to the Supreme Lord. But Bhakti Yoga, you actually start with you first start with bhakti, like,
Yes,
so
yes.
surrender to the Lord. Then you basically, whatever is actually need for doing bhakti properly, we keep on adding them, like having light food in the night, or having doing some exercises and taking
Sure.
care of
Yeah.
body
Yeah.
properly,
What
like that.
what you said is right. What you said is right. So let's put something like karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, and bhakti yoga. So all these things, there is these three things. They require some time and effort and all that, and they have to come to the platform of samatvam. They have to come to the platform of seeing the super soul. After that, they start doing bhakti, because once they get connected to the super soul, then they start doing bhakti. But let's say whoever starts with bhakti yoga out of great fortune, then whatever they are doing is the final goal. Okay, so in bhakti yoga, the means and goal are same. In all this yoga, The means and goal are different. See, that is the glory of Bhakti Yoga. The means and the goals are the same. Like, let's say if one wants to reach the 30th floor of a building, there are two ways. One is through steps, another one is to
Elevator.
elevator. So all this karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga is actually steps. Bhakti yoga is the elevator. Okay, that's how the difference is made. Like, bhakti yoga, the means and the goals are the same. And
In the current situations, like people are actually not ready to follow this bhakti yoga. They are ready to follow karma yoga, jnana yoga, or dhyana yoga, but they are not ready to follow bhakti yoga. Right, bro?
um, see, I will tell you that the majority of the people want to be karmis.
Yes,
Huh?
that's correct. Yeah.
Karmi is what? Enjoying unlimitedly. Okay. Either they will use Vedas or they won't use Vedas. Hmm? Out of which those who get frustrated from this, they will move into yoga system. They will say, okay, there is a supreme lord, I need to connect to him, and they will start doing yoga. Hmm?
Hmm.
So then they will start sometime, mostly they will start doing karma yoga, because that is what they are doing, right? Karma, they're doing some activity, so they will try to connect it to the supreme. Actually, they don't know how to connect it to supreme. So first thing is that they will do it on the platform of duty. Karma yoga first is duty, unattached, right?
Yeah.
So they will do this first. It is my duty, unattached. You will see people saying this, and they may not be like karmis, very enjoying and all that. No, they'll be detached people, and they will do their duty detached way, right? We see some people, they the social services, and some people, right, they don't take bribes and all, they just do their duty. We have seen such examples, right? So they all
Yes.
fall in karma yoga. Okay. Then there are many other things also in the fourth chapter. Even the worship of demigod, they will do it as a duty. Then breathing exercise in and out, that also they will do it for the sake of a, right, higher purpose, not for karmi purpose. Then they will do it for loka sangraha. Loka sangraha meaning benefit of the people. Their duty, they'll do it for loka sangraha, benefit of the people. Then they will come to samatvam, like that. So once they start seeing everyone is soul, there is super soul, then out of some great causeless mercy, if they get in connection with a devotee, then they will start bhakti yoga. So this is what happens. This is generally, these three is what people end up with. To enter bhakti yoga, you need to have connection with a devotee. So if there is a causeless mercy with a connection with devotee, then bhakti yoga starts. What is bhakti yoga? Bhakti yoga is devotional service to Krishna. It starts with 9 processes, which is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. Right?
Yes,
So,
Prabhu.
so if they come in connection with Krishna and they start with Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, And let's say wherever they are, let's say they are karma yogi, jnana yogi, dhyana yogi, they will start from there. Okay, they may not fully give up all this, they will start from there. Hmm? And they will continue from there like that. For someone who is not even doing anything of this, if they get connected with devotee, they will start directly from Vishnu, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. They need not do all these things. Karma yoga, Jnana yoga, Dhyana yoga. They just can start off. Like we have examples of Valmiki Rishi, right? He was a dacoit. Was he a Karma yogi? No. What is a Jnana yogi? No. Was he a Dhyana yogi? No. He was a Karmi. Upon that, he was ill social Karmi, doing all kinds of sinful activity. But he came in connection with the devotee Narad Muni, directly started Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu in the name of chanting Lord Ram's name. And then he achieved perfection, becoming Sadhu, the Valmiki sage. So that's why Bhakti Yoga is called lift, elevator. Elevator means what? You did not go through all these steps, right? Okay. Now in previous ages now, people used to go through this step and then come to Bhakti Yoga. But in the current age now, Bhakti Yoga is being put in front by Lord Chaitanya, and that's why it is acting like an elevator more than steps. People are directly coming to this platform, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, and this is the highest platform. So the means and the goal is same. What is the means here? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, and the goal is also what? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. Now let's say what is the means in Dhyana Yoga? What is
Exercises and
yam, niyam, pranayam.
meditation, all those things.
Yeah.
Pranayam, yogasanas. Then what is the goal?
Paramatma
Peace.
realization
To see Paramatma within heart.
within their heart.
Mm. Yeah.
So you can see, ultimately the means is different, the goal is different. Bhakti Yoga, what is the mean? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. Chanting, hearing Vishnu. Okay. And what is the goal? Goal is also Krishna Prem. Let's put it like that. Krishna
Love
Prem.
of Godhead, yes.
Love of God. But what happens in love of God? Again, it is the same chanting, dancing, Vishnu, chanting, hearing about Vishnu. It's nothing different. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why the means and the goals are same. See, here also the goal is Dhyana Yoga is see Paramatma in the heart, and after that there is a higher goal, that is love for Paramatma. Okay, at first there is awe and respect for him. Then ultimately they should come to the platform for love for Paramatma, and then they come to know, oh, Krishna is Paramatma. So there was times, in the Krishna's time, that not everyone knew that Krishna is Paramatma. But when the sages, few of the sages, when they came to know, then they came to Krishna. And then there were some sages who thought that Krishna is a very elevated being and all that. So Krishna hides himself basically, doesn't reveal so much. But in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, he has come, he is revealing everything. He is not hiding anything. He is revealing this process of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. Okay. Shall we go to next verse?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So Arjuna is explaining more to Krishna, why this is impossible, or why I am rejecting Dhyana Yoga. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramati balavad dhridam tasyaham nigraham manye vayur eva sudushkaram. The mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, very strong, O Krishna, and to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the wind. Mind is restless. Yeah, we know this. Turbulent, obstinate, very strong. The mind is the cause of a lot of problems today. stress, and driving people crazy, right? So mind is so strong and obstinate that it sometimes overcomes intelligence. And although the mind is supposed to be subservient to the intelligence, for a man in practical world who has to fight so many opposing elements, it is certainly very difficult to control the mind. Artificially, one may establish a mental equilibrium towards both friend and enemy, but ultimately, no worldly man can do so, for this is more difficult than controlling a raging wind. In the Vedic literature, Katha Upanishad, it is said, the individual is the passenger in the car of the material body, and intelligence is the driver, mind is the driving instrument, and the senses are the horses. The self is thus enjoyer or the sufferer in the association of the mind and senses. So it is understood, it is understood by great thinkers. Intelligence is supposed to direct the mind. I'll finish this reading and then I'll explain what this analogy is all about. Intelligence is supposed to direct the mind, but the mind is so strong and obstinate that often overcomes even one's own intelligence, as an acute infection may surpass the efficacy of the medicine. Such a strong mind is supposed to be controlled by practice of yoga, but such practice is never practical for a worldly person like Arjuna. And what can we say of modern man? The simile used here is appropriate. One cannot capture the blowing wind, and it is even more difficult to capture the turbulent mind. The easiest way to control the mind, as suggested by Lord Chaitanya, is chanting Hare Krishna, the great mantra for deliverance in all humility. The method prescribed is Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vandaya. One must engage one's mind fully in Krishna, only then it will remain, only will there remain no other engagement to agitate the mind. So, this is a very great analogy. Chariot senses. Okay. Senses. This one will take a picture of this. So we are discussing this analogy. Sorry, maybe there are some. Yeah, this is also a good one. I'll take some. Okay, this is. So Katha Upanishad says that these senses. If you see, these horses have the senses. Eyes, nose, ears, touch, tongue. Hmm? So these are like the horses. The mind is the ropes that connect the horses, and it is held by who? Buddhi, intelligence. And who is the passenger? Atma. Now the the senses are always running here and there, right? Eyes want to see beautiful things, ear want to hear beautiful things, nose want to smell something, tongue wants to taste something, right? How long does a gulab jamun remain in our mouth? Few seconds, right? Maybe even less than that. But it drives us. All this good food and all that, right? It drives us, no? If in the family everyone is deciding where to go, people start discussing, that hotel is good, this hotel is good, last time that was not good at this place, this was good at that place, right? So the tongue is driving us here and there, and all the senses also driving us here and there. Now the senses are connected with the ropes. Hmm? So all these ropes, they are controlled by whom? Intellect. But do you think the intellect is controlling it 100% of the time?
No, Prabhuji, because
Yeah, because the the horses are really strong.
mm,
So sometimes these can overcome the intelligence. The rope is also sometimes will one rope will go in left and one rope will go right, and the intelligence is like, oh, where to go now, right? Cannot control it. so so what is the solution for this? Do you know what is the solution that they do in a chariot like this?
They cover the horses,
Yeah, they
like
cover the eyes of the horses.
eyes of the horses.
So what happens with that? The
it
horse
runs
can only
They
look
blindly.
front.
they don't. No, they don't become blind. They will be just see the straight side. They don't see the left
Exactly,
and
yeah.
right side.
Yeah, they look at the front. So in yoga system, what does that mean?
So basically, it means like you focus on the goal.
Yeah, had a very nice picture. I hope I have it. Hmm. Okay, I don't have it here. Uh, okay. So basically, the senses have to be engaged in Krishna's service. So that's how you first control it by physically disallowing the senses of the sense objects, and only taking that much input which is required for the senses, not too much. Eating we have to do because we have to survive, right? But eating too much will give us other problems like obesity, diabetes, and all other things, right? So we'll control our eating. So that's what it means by putting blinders on the senses. You take only that much which is required. Don't just take unlimited. So that is about the senses. Now we need the mind also to be strong, right? The ropes also to be strong. Okay, and we need the intellect to be very strong. So how does the intellect become stronger?
By gaining knowledge, Prabhuji, what is
Yeah.
right and what
What
is
is
wrong.
yes. So
Yes,
what is the food of intellect? Is food of intellect is knowledge.
Scriptures,
knowledge.
scriptural knowledge.
Yes, scriptural knowledge in this case. The more knowledge the intelligence get, the more stronger it becomes. And then the Atma should also have a desire for liberation, for going back home, back to God. Otherwise, what will happen is all these three things will be nice, but the Atma is saying, take me to, some enjoyment place or something. So that should also not happen. The Atma should also be in sync with the goal of human life. Um,
Prabhuji, Atma will not listen to the intellect.
no, the Atma should drive the intellect, basically.
It
See,
operates through the body, mind, and senses.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, it operates. So what happens is the let's put this in the I like this video game analogy very much. Uh, yeah. I like this video game analogy very much. This is a very, unique example. Just let me put it there. Hmm. See, in the video game, the game is the monitor, and the console. Everything is like input to the ultimate driver, right? Hmm? If all of this
Mhm.
is very strong, let's say healthy and everything, then the player, he enjoys playing the game, right? Isn't it? He will enjoy playing the
Yeah.
game. Any part is damaged, then he cannot play it nicely.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say, that all the senses, everything is nice with him. Intelligence is nice, mind is nice, senses are good, and then he can enjoy playing it. But what happens with the soul? If the soul himself is not interested in spiritual life, then he will play this game of material life. So that's why I said the
Prabhuji,
soul should also direct the intellect and mind and senses towards spiritual life. He should be like uh, understanding that I have to do spiritual life. That's why I made that statement. Am I confusing or something?
Yes, Prabhu.
yes,
So, yeah, so,
little
so basically, what I mean, my understanding and Mataji's understanding maybe like with the intelligence, with the intelligence, we take the right decision, right? And with the intelligence, whatever our body is going to, the soul will also go to the same direction. So we are basically like with intelligence, we are trying to keep our
Fine,
body.
fine.
Uh,
See, fine. All the intelligence and every input is coming to the soul, right? Yes or no? It is definitely coming to the soul. But my
mhm.
point is, the soul should also be determined, right? Like you said, some people don't take to Krishna consciousness. We are giving all the right inputs to them. The intellect is there, everything is there. But then what is happening? The soul is still interested to enjoy in this material world. That is the problem. So the soul should also have that desire. I want to really, liberate. I want to go away from this cycle of birth and death. It should not just be intellectual, okay? It should be the desire of the soul also. That's what I'm trying to say.
Prabhuji, then how do we nourish how do we give proper knowledge to the soul?
Okay. Okay. See, the soul is there. Around that is subtle body, and around that is the gross body, or let's say physical body. Hmm. The soul also has a spiritual body. So when we chant the holy name, when we read Shastra, it's all very transcendental. It is no more matter. Okay, it is spiritual in nature. So what happens is, we are taking the input from the senses, the subtle body, and it is going to the blue body, that is the soul. Okay. So the holy name directly goes to the soul. Uh, then, um, sorry, what was exactly your question? Sorry,
No, Prabhuji, we were discussing that soul should have the desire, no?
yeah,
So
yeah,
I was thinking,
yeah.
what will motivate the soul so that it will direct the intellect to take the knowledge and practice Krishna
Yes,
consciousness?
yes, yeah, 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 yeah. So, okay, I'm on the
So
track to explain. So, what happens is, when we are giving spiritual inputs to the soul should be interested in it. Okay, he should feel that yes, that is my spiritual life. I need to go there. That decision is never taken by gross body, neither by subtle body. It is taken by the soul. That's the thing. Otherwise, what happens is, sometimes some people, they leave the process. At that point, that inner determination has never come to them. Getting? That inner determination is the soul's desire.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like that. So when that happens, that the inner conviction comes. That happens only when one experience. There are two things. When he experiences spiritual happiness, when he experiences the spiritual connection with Krishna. And second thing is when he gets mercy from a pure devotee. There are two things that happen actually. So mercy from the pure devotee, what happens over there is he gives us experience of Krishna. He gives us the a revival of the love for Krishna. See, love for Krishna is not external; it is internal, right? The,
Yes, Prabhuji.
yeah.
Yes, Prabhu.
So our love is internal. So what we are giving external, we are giving input so that we can revive it. Then when we desire to revive it and we have revived it, then it becomes the soul's desire. Then the soul will direct everything, the mind, body, and all that. At this point, we are we are making our intelligence stronger due to Shastra, right? But still, there will be some people who live, right? Who leave Krishna consciousness, who leave spiritual path. Why? Because their soul is not awakened by that time. Soul is not fully awakened. They are doing it for what purpose? Maybe family is making me do. Maybe sometimes. So Krishna in seventh chapter, we are in sixth, right? In seventh chapter, he talks about this. There are four kinds of people that come to Krishna. Something slow.
Yes, Prabhuji. Artho, Artharthi,
Yeah,
Jignasu,
yes. So I'll just go to
Jnani.
that verse. Hopefully, this opens up. Okay. So what happens is out of the four also, not everyone comes to the perfection. So, just did it come? Not yet. Okay, we'll go through this. Let's see. Seventh chapter. Huh? Chaturvida Bhajate Mam. Yeah. Four kinds of pious people render devotion service: the distressed, the desire of the wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching the knowledge of the absolute, the Gyani. So the distressed is what? I have this problem, I have this problem. Desire of wealth is I need more wealth to enjoy. So what happens with these two people? They come to Krishna, their problem
They leave.
resolves, they may get
Then they
wealth,
leave Krishna
and then they will
consciousness.
leave Krishna
Yeah.
consciousness. So what is
Yeah.
happening there? All inputs went inside, but the soul is not awakened for what? To search the absolute truth, to go back home, back to God. That desire has not come. So that's why I'm saying that. Okay. So we may attend many Bhagavad Gita classes, but ultimately we should conviction should come from within our heart.
Well, Prabhu, like you mentioned that there are two ways to awaken the soul. One of them is
Two
by
ways
the
in sense,
mercy of the devotee. Two.
both the ways happen actually. Both the ways happen. Yeah, tell me, but tell me.
So even if so, it means that even if we read all those scriptures and all those bhaktis, everything we do, but until unless we don't get the mercy of devotees, we will not be able to, you know, like achieve our goal in bhakti.
Yes,
right?
that is true.
Mm,
See,
okay.
it is Bhakti Yoga, right? I told say Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. There is Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. Let's go to the actual verse, or I'll take you to another verse. Hopefully, this is working. I'll take you to another verse. 551, Srimad Bhagavatam. Hmm. हाँ. महत् सेवं द्वारम अहुर मुक्तेस त्वं द्वारम योषितां संगी संगम महत् महंतस्ते ते समाचित्तम प्रशांतम विमान यस्यव श्रुद्ध साधवो ये. What it says is one can attain the path of liberation from material bondage only by rendering service to the highly advanced spiritual personalities. So when we serve them sincerely, they will provide us mercy. Now mercy is something, there's no chemical formula, physics formula for that. Okay, mercy means there is some blessing that is coming. These personalities are impersonalists and devotees. Whether one wants to merge into Lord's existence or want to associate with the personality of Godhead, one should render service to the Mahatmas. For those who are not interested in such activities, who associate with people fond of women and sex, the path to hell is wide open. The Mahatmas are equipoised. They do not see any difference between one living entity and another. They are very peaceful and fully engaged in devotional service. Those who are devoid of anger and they work for the benefit of everyone, they do not behave in any abominable. Such people are known as Mahatmas. So, okay, so to serve a pure devotee is also bhakti. And Krishna says this in Bhagavad Gita, uh, 12, 13. Maybe we should go to 13. In chapter number 13, yeah, 8 to 12. So he's telling what is knowledge. Knowledge is humility, pridelessness, non-violence, simplicity, etc., etc. And approaching a bona fide spiritual master. See, spiritual master is pure devotee, na? So he'll approach a bona fide spiritual, listen from him, serve him, and gets his mercy. Okay, all this is important. Hmm? Okay, so sorry. Any question on that? This thing when I made the statement. So here it is. What happens with video game people? They are very healthy. They're doing nice, but they were wasting time playing this video game. So ultimately, a desire should come within the player that yes, it is a waste of time. Let me get out of it. Then he will stop playing the video game. Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
that's
Externally we
right.
may stop it by hiding the console or by putting some app which controls the time 1 hour a day and all that, but is it going to make the child stop forever? No, that will only happen when the child himself understands that yes, I don't have to play this video game, it's a waste of time. Okay, so that's why I said we may give input, we may control senses, we may make our intelligence stronger, but ultimately the atma should come to that realization that yes, I have to go to Krishna. Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
So I have one question.
Yeah, sure, go
Like
ahead. Yeah.
in one of the shloka you have mentioned that like in the current age of Kali, we cannot follow the process of Ashtanga yoga, and but so the process given in this yoga is chanting Hare Krishna to be more focused, right? So,
No,
but
no, see,
whenever I
chanting
do,
chanting of Hare Krishna is not to be focused.
Mhm.
The goal of chanting of Hare Krishna is Krishna prem.
Yes, yes, that's correct.
Yeah,
But
and whatever focus one achieves by doing it is a byproduct. It is not the main product, it's a byproduct.
Hmm. But when I do chanting, I feel like I am the most disturbed person at that point of time only. Otherwise, when I do my office work
Yeah,
or
that is
anything
true.
like.
That is true. That when we are chanting, when we are practicing, it is difficult. See, Krishna, Arjuna is saying the same thing now.
Hmm.
We are here. Okay, next verse. Bhagavan Vacha. What he says, Asamshayam Mahabaho. Yeah, true. Whatever you are saying is true. Mahabaho, Arjuna. Mano Durni Graham Chalam. Yeah, very difficult. I know. Durni Graham. Durni Graham means difficult to curb. Abhyasetu konteyo vairagyecha grihate. So there are two things that we have to do. One is abhyas, that is practice. Everyday practice. And second thing is vairagya. Hey, we have to be detached from material enjoyment. Okay. If these two things are there, then we can achieve. So by suitable practice and detachment, we can achieve. Okay. In this yeah, in this purport, Prabhupada says some things, but two things are required: practice and detachment. So right now, when we are practicing, this difficulty will come. So we have to continue our practice. And second thing is this detachment should also be there. Detachment means our mind is running after so many things. I want this, I want that. So for that particular time, we should be little detached. We should not allow our mind to run after things. And over a period of time, our detachment should, or let's say our attachment should reduce. Okay. Today we may be young, we may like certain things and all that, and that things are increasing our material disturbances. But over a period of time, that should reduce because it is not good for our spiritual life. So, coming to your question, yes, at the time of chanting, it will be restless. But the answer is we have to do suitable practice. Hmm?
Yes. So
So,
the process of being a little detached is also the chanting and hearing is only, right, Prabhu?
uh, a little more, I'll just tell. See, there are two things. Now, one is suitable chanting, and then there is detachment. There are some more information. As we go into bhakti literature, they will talk about this suitable chanting. See, chanting has no rules and regulations. Okay, no hard and fast rule. No? There is no hard and fast rule. We can chant anytime, anyhow. Okay, but to make it effective chanting, we have to do some adjustments. Like doctor may give us medicine, but then he may tell us not to eat certain things and all that, right? So even though we may take the medicine, but if we don't follow the other things, then the medicine will become very difficult to fight with the disease. So we have to do some adjustments. Why? Because we are in a disease state. So in a disease state, how to do effective chanting? Some adjustment we have to do. First thing is, uh, let's put it simple way: time, place, circumstance. See, the time for suitable timing is what? Brahma Muhurta. Okay, 2 hours before sunrise. That time, our mind is kind of stable. When you chant, you can feel that effectiveness. Okay. After that, the modes start acting, especially after 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. The mode of passion becomes very much activated. So our chanting should be before that only. It should complete before that. Now, place for our chanting should be. Now, we are not pure devotees. We can chant anywhere and all that. Like there was Gorkishada Babaji who would chant in the latrine. Why? Because in the latrine no one would come to meet him. So he
Hmm.
did want to meet people. So what he did was he went in the latrine and he chanted. Now because he's in the latrine, no one comes. But can we do that? We will find it very difficult to chant over there, right? So for
Yeah.
us, we need a very clean place. A clean place, altar, separate room, hmm? um, deities, some Prabhupada chanting in the background, right? So we need all of this. And we need association. If we get association of devotees, good, no? With devotees around. And if we are sleeping, then other devotee will say, Prabhu, you are sleeping, like that, So some adjustments we have to do. Then circumstances. We go through a lot of changes in life. If you have a baby and all that, you may not be able to chant, all this time, place, and all that will become going on toss. So at that point, we have to, pray to Krishna and chant whatever time, wherever, however it is. So the mood to chant is should be to beg to Krishna. Okay. So we should prayfully mood, prayful chanting is like we begging Krishna by calling his holy names. Okay. So all this is required. Now detachment, we have gone through, nectar of instructions where Srila Rupa Goswami, he tells us not too much of eating, right? He tells us not too much of eating, too much of collecting,
And wealth.
enduring, yeah, over enduring, association with whom?
Worldly minded
Worldly
person.
minded people, basically non devotees. So if we can follow all this and we can pray and beg to Krishna, then success is guaranteed. Okay.
Yes.
Hmm? Does that help?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Any other last questions, comments?
No, Prabhu.
Hmm?
No, Prabhuji.
No.
No, Prabhuji.